How are we doing, guys? Welcome to another edition of The Rounds, part of the Brew-Dare-Drankthat family, and as per usual, we live by our credo of bringing you the freshest and tastiest in all that brews, each and every episode. Now, as you know, this is just a quick little craft beer review segment of the bigger Brew-There-Drankthat, and let's get right into it today. So, with Christmas right around the corner, I thought it only appropriate to do something imbuing of the season, so to speak. And I gotta be honest, I'm going outside of my typical sphere of influence. You guys hear me banging the gavel day in and day out about American beer, American craft beer, that kind of thing. But today we're heading over to Europe, and we're gonna hit up the UK and see what the Shelton Brothers have to offer in their Insanley Bad elf. Now, there's been a bunch of, to-do about this beer. So, let's get right into it. It is considered an Imperial Red Ale. It comes in at 11.2% alcohol by volume. It contains both barley and rye. And it's called Insanely Bad Elf. So, I've never had this beer before, and I'm thinking this is going to go one of two ways. Either it's attempting to sell solely on the gimmicky name and the high ABV, or there's a bang-on beer behind it. Now, I gotta be honest, little concerned. Typically, if it's labeled an Imperial Red Ale, it pours red. I don't know. So what do I have here? I have a mostly gold with kind of a tint or a hazing of red, kind of up in through the middle there, but predominantly a golden yellow, like it's almost as if somebody poured a traditional Pilsner or a lager of some kind and then added a couple drops of red ale to it. Champagne-like effervescence, not a thickly formed head by any means, which to me would say that it's indicative of not necessarily having a good amount of malt to it. I can also tell you I've got good effervescence coming up from the glass, which reinforces that champagne-like effervescence comment. Not a lot of body to it, which again tells me that they didn't use a lot of malt, but that the cold shocking cleaned it out quite well. Smells lightly of malt. There may be just a touch of rye on the nose, like barely a touch of rye on the nose, and almost kind of a light grassy kind of hop character to it as well. Now, I have no idea what hops were used, what malts were used, aside from the fact that it does say it uses both barley and rye in it, and I have no idea what the IBUs are. Part of that is because the labeling, pretty little picture, this is true, but not exactly a lot of information that would ally itself to more educated beer drinkers. Additionally, when I hit the website for further information, because labeling like this occurs quite frequently, the website's setup mentions almost nada about the beer in and of itself. Gave a general quick description, but no finite points whatsoever. The effervescence is still sticking around, which I think is a good sign. The head is broken down almost completely to a thin wisping. Huh. I'm wondering if this isn't supposed to be more like an interpretation of, say, like a cask ale that's been bottled. I'm getting everything I'm getting is just very slight, and it's very light. A little biscuity, just a light biscuity characteristic to it. You do get just a touch of rye on the finish. The alcohol presents hot, and not in what I would consider to be a good way. The alcohol starts presenting about a third of the way, even into the first third of the flavor profile, and continues through the entire thing, almost acting as the centerpiece of this Imperial Red Ale. Remarkably, for the carbonation that seems evident in the glass, it doesn't seem to especially play carbonated to the tongue. You do get a little nuance of fruit. About the beginning of the last third of the flavor profile, I almost got like a little bit of candied dates, or maybe almost kind of a fig-esque quality to it. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm not super impressed by any stretch of the imagination. One, I find the color to be off-putting. I think you label your beer an Imperial Red Ale, it better pour red, like red, if not like rust, bordering on brown. Like, it needs to pour with a deep malt backbone. This seems to indicate by all measures that they skimped on everything from malt to hops, and maybe doused it with a bunch of extra sugars to kind of kick up the alcohol content, and use a gimmicky label, a name, Insanely Bad Elf, to help sell it with the the flag flying of, hey, high ABV, that kind of thing. Wow, it's been a while since I've had a beer that impressed me this little. No disrespect to Shelton Brothers. They've been around for a while, and folks seem to think they make good quality product. Get out there. This is sold typically in single bottles. I would try a bottle for yourself and see what you think. Personally, I could name a slew of Imperial Red Ales that I would rather have over this one, regardless of alcohol content. The alcohol has almost a slight medicinal quality to it. Which, I mean, maybe that's what you could use it for. You could try and, booze out the flu or something. Booze out your cold or flu with it. But I'm going to be honest, guys. Aside from the idea that I do firmly believe you should always be experimental and you should always be willing to try new things, hey, I've tried it, and I'm not going to be back anytime soon. So, there's that. We'll see you over our next round. We'll see you over our next pint. And next time we're staying in America. Have a good one, guys.